Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hi. Yes? Okay, good. Cause it's not giving off like good bit rate, I guess. Oh, I think it's fine now. All right. Hello, 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 everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone's doing amazing because I know I am. My name is Chad. I'm an artist, and I'm learning every day, and I'm drawing every day just to prove to people that it's not that hard. And today, I feel like it's gonna be particularly hard because I am cooked. I'm tired. I did a lot of physical activity today, and I am not athletic. I'll tell you that much. Kamoy, I am double chubby. Well, I'm not chubby, but I still got tired. How you doing, my boy? So I decided to start streaming a little earlier today because I need to wake up early tomorrow. So maybe by the time I end the stream today, it's going to be like maybe 11. And 11 is kind of like almost when I start streaming usually. So hopefully that changes. I just got another pike lure. Pike lure? Lure? What does that mean? Stay strong, brother. You got this. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. I really appreciate every kind word. I swear. Especially during these times. But yeah. Honestly, I didn't do a lot of practice today, which I feel kind of bad about. I mean, it's not like I had anything to do about it, because I really got busy outside of drawing, right? But I want to be able to put in more hours. So yeah. Okay, so today I've been putting off this exercise where I draw cylinders. So let me go back to it actually. Oh, I don't know if you've seen these, Kamoy, but I've done some Freynen heads. Oh, not these. There you go. She's so adorable. There you go. Love them. Thank you. These are just like sketches though. I was like I was too lazy to just like to give them proper line work. Why am I so chubby? I don't know. You keep asking that in the chat. I'm not sure. Or maybe don't spam that. Don't spam that too much. Okay. So back to the cylinders. Oh, I got Batman too. Nice. Are they not here? I really hope they're here. Oh, there you go. Oh, this is Reze. This guy turned out really good, by the way. Like I really like this one. But that's probably I have like a proper character design in front of me. That's probably that was like that did a lot of the heavy lifting. Okay, so what we want to do is we are going to put cylinders inside of these three boxes, and then we're gonna freehand some other boxes as well. Not boxes, I'm sorry, cylinders. Also, I don't need to show this circle because one, it's very ugly. Two, it doesn't show inside of the cylinder, so that's what we're not gonna do. I almost finished watching that stream, like 90% of the stream. Wait, which stream? The wait, Reze, did I do Reze online or offline? Did I on stream or off stream? I'm not sure. Which stream are you talking about? Okay, one thing that I kind of like struggle with is to draw these cylinders or these circles one quarter of a time. I did some warm up today. Actually, I just like did it. I think it's first thing in the morning. Didn't I? Or maybe I just had breakfast and then I warmed up a little bit. I did a bunch of lines, so yeah. I did Reze on stream. Maybe I gave her color off stream then, because I'm pretty sure I did something with her off stream. Ellipses are never easy. Oh man. I kind of like, even was just like freehanding ellipses. This, by the way, is the is the kind of like the direction that I'm most comfortable with, right? And even then, like it's very even then, and even while I'm, you know, trying to be kind of like freehand with it, it's still kind of like, I mean, it's not bad, but that sucks. But I want to be able to just like do it almost slowly because I can do lines slowly. I can do C curves and S curves slowly, right? But cylinders, it's not. And I guess this is I guess this is a good one. Right, but I don't know. New stream look, yeah. C helped me create this look. It's all thanks to her. This is not like the overlay is not my work, and it's not really that perfect. There's a lot of stuff. I don't even know if you guys can read the chat on on the stream because it to me it looks so small. Marcus, listen, my boy, how you been? Getting there, Lewis? Huh? Lewis. Life been going crazy. Yeah, I can kind of read that. Okay, nice. Nice. In great bad ways. Huh. Greatly crazy. That's that doesn't nerve. I mean, I'm glad you're here now. You thought about making an overlay yourself? Honestly, since you design, I was thinking about it like for the longest time, right? I need to make my own overlay and stuff. Um, but I've been putting it off, honestly. I've been kind of like low-key lazy about it. And then C suggested to do it. And I was like, sure, if you want to do it, then go ahead. This is a main look. There's some things that I don't really that can, get some changing. But like as a first step, this is not bad. No, I want these lines. Also, I have the power to rotate the canvas. I think doing it on stream could be cool. Okay, that's not a bad idea actually. I want to keep the stream a design stream once in a while. Not bad. Not a bad idea. Yeah. Why not? I'm not I'm not sure how YouTube's gonna react to it though. Like it's gonna might get confused about my niche, you know. It might. Hello, C. We're talking about the overlay. Opportunity you can't really skip. Okay. Okay, we got jokers. We got jokers in the chat. Wait, this line is kind of wonky. Yeah, I'm streaming early today because I wanna finish early and I wanna go to bed early, even though that rarely ends up working. And even when I end the stream early, I still stay awake. But today it's going to change. I was playing with the overlay last night, trying to get things to fit better. Nice. Man, why don't I just like take the middle here and the middle here? It's looking good, to be honest. Fresh. Nice. It is literally, this is like water themed. Like the direction went water themed very quickly. I had another direction in mind, but given the constraints, it was just like it doesn't really. I didn't want it to be like something perfect. I just want it to be something that's like functional, and then we'll get it to perfection slowly, right? That was like my thought process with this. What is the ding that constantly playing? It's is that something that's not pleasant to hear? It's like every time sends a somebody sends a message, that's like a notification, because sometimes I won't be looking at the chat and people would be talking in the chat and I forget, especially when I'm on Discord VCing, right? I just like forget about the chat, so that kind of like helps me remember, check. If that's something you don't want to hear, I can just like take it off for you guys and just like keep it only for myself. Whoops. I wonder if there's like a rule, right? Because right here, like this line from here to here, we got like, this is maybe, I don't know, like let's say a third. Probably not a third, but let's say a third. I wonder if it's like it would be applicable to this line as well, and then to this line, regardless of the size of the line, right? So if this is a third, then it's gotta be a third for all 4 segments. You know what I mean? It's interesting, definitely. Because trying to kind of like gauge Like this needs to be, I don't know what it is in what it's called in English, but like uh when like you have a graph and you have like this line kind of like goes, it's a function, right? It's like logarithmic, I think it's called. Parabole? Is it parabole? It's like here, like it's they're very close, but they're not touching. But obviously here it touches. Uh, Hold on, it's not annoying to me yet. Maybe lowering the volume for viewers, but keeping it high for yourself so you can hear it. Okay, fair enough. I'm not Discord. Is it Discords? Which audio? I forgot which audio it is. Audio, kind of like slider. It's kind of nice that you're streaming earlier, but I have to go because stupid therapy. Okay, but have fun. Also, you never saw my message about the layout edits. Did I not? Oh, I made the chat box. Yeah, yeah. See, thank you. You need to just like remind me. The chat shorter. Okay, nice. And put a box between the chat and your title streamer box for your previous works. Yes. Ooh, nice, nice. See ya. Bye bye. Take care. See. What was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about like these lines that you can. This needs to be touching and going a little bit along with it before it like starts sliding off to make the curve, and then it's the same thing here. But like having them meet, and basically if this line wasn't there, you would be basically just like ending up like here and here. And where is this going to be? Is this going to be here? Is this going to be here? So if I have another indicating kind of like point, right? Because I have this point, I have this point, and if I have another indicating point, then that can make it easier, right? And if I know that it's always going to be a third on 4 segments, then that obviously I can eyeball a third, right? And that is going to make it easier for me. However, I don't think that's the case. I think, you know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have seen Jujutsu Kaisen, but there's like this big ass monster, and he has like this one little disc. No, well, not little, that's for sure, on top of his head, and this helps him adapt. This is literally it. What I want to do, I want to make a duplicate of this window so I can look at the project from a more kind of like, yeah. Okay. Right, so it's clearly not this point, right? And I'm not really using a sketching kind of like line because I can't be fucked doing another pass. Oh, by the way, I did an action. I created an action in Photoshop. I don't know if you guys know how to create actions, but it's very handy. So since I'm going to be, doing more fleshed out illustrations, and just like it's going to go through passes like sketching and then the line work and then the colors and then the shading and stuff like that, I made what's it called? Like an action that basically what? Oh. That, let me grab this one for example. All right, let's say I have this yeah, okay. So let's say I have this head, right? And this is a sketch. This is like I'm happy with the sketch, right? It's all good. And then I press a button, which is F12, and then so it makes it transparent and it creates another layer for me, and it gives me the brush to do the next pass. And then once I'm on this pass, maybe I can do it again, right? And that, or maybe it's just like a second pass, and then this is the final kind of like line work, and then I do it again. It's very handy, just a button. Okay. Right, so we're back here. This is a fucked up circle, bruh. Ellipse. This is so messed up. This ellipse definitely got dropped when it was a kid. I think this is the best I can get it, honestly. Okay. Next. I mean, the whole box is a bit weird. I was doing ellipses today too. Or how were you doing them? I'm interested on how people practice doing them. Because in my warm ups, I just like pick the whole canvas, and I like do these right, and try to fill the whole thing, and try to limit each ellipse with the boundaries that are created inside of the canvas, right? Is this part of Dropbox? No, it's not. It's not. Draw draw a cylinder. Yeah, step 1, draw a cylinder. That's it. No, but like just like this, doing these two and then connecting them together, or do you do like two lines and then one line in the middle, and then you kind of like calculate the angle and then do this and then do this and then do this and then do this and then the other thing, or how do you approach it? Come on. I normally do a square plane first, then do the Proco method to draw the ellipse. I'm not sure what you mean by the Proco method. I don't remember. I've seen a lot of Proco videos. I don't think I've seen the ellipses one, which sounds like an important video, honestly. Okay, that's way better. Drawing the ellipse inside of the square, basically. Oh. It's a method for drawing ellipses in perspective. So, like what I'm doing here. So this is inside of the square. The only one, hold on. It's free real estate. Maybe I should make a video about how to draw ellipses. I watched it and followed along like 5 times. Nice. It's free real estate. You know, these kind of legs are interesting to me. Lines are interesting to me because this kind of like ends up giving this shape. It's kind of nice. It's kind of like a cut. How do you draw ellipses in perspective right now? Maybe if you explain your process, I can see if you're missing anything. I am literally so okay. So this is what I've done. I have drawn these boxes first, right? Like this grid, this 3x4 grid of boxes. This is what I've done first, right? These boxes, boom, boom, boom. And then I'm taking, I mean, you're seeing what I'm doing, right? And then I take this, I kind of like try to get these 4 points and then try to connect them together. Boom, this is one. Again, boom, this is two, and then connect the two. That's literally it. And then so these are inside the boxes, but I'm planning on doing more of those without the box, right? I'm not sure how, but I'll probably figure it out. But getting that working with slow lines when it comes to ellipses, it's very. Mm, I guess it's just like a matter of time. It's only been 30 minutes since I started streaming. Oh my god, I want to go to sleep. Also, I'm a little bit hungry. Did I have dinner today? I don't think I did. Okay, yeah, that's also what I was doing before the Proco video, but I noticed they often were a little wonky. Okay. So, oh my god, this freaking line, bruh. Okay, you know what? So, oh my god. So what you're saying is I should watch the Proco video. Ugh. Ugh. There is an actual method for getting the angle or the ellipse correct based on the plane it's sitting on. It's like 10 minutes. Wait, an actual method for getting the angle or the ellipse correct based on the plane it is sitting on. I'm not sure how it's different from what you said. I'm not sure how it's different from the way I'm doing it. Or maybe I should just like check that video out and see for myself. Angle of the ellipse. Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Okay, I'm just gonna use some sketching lines with this. Sketching lines. See if that works. I don't know if you do this empty. I guess you're on Procreate, I think. Can you have the same kind of like canvas open on two windows? I guess you draw on the tablet, so you don't need to. Never mind. What? Wah. Wah. Can we play some Undertale up in this bitch? No, some Undertale music, that is. I'm gonna play like an Undertale playlist. Undertale sound track full. Let me know if it's loud. Jarvis, play Undertale. Actually, the first time I played Undertale, I didn't go the pacifist route. I was killing monsters, bro. I was a I was a murderer, and the game did not like that. I don't remember fighting Sans though. It's been a while since I played it. Sans was low-key a homie. Oh, did I fight him? I'm not. I think I did. I remember. The one thing I remember about the game is like the flower turning into like a huge like a big screen. It's like a boss fight. It's like if you see that and it's not a you don't think it's a boss fight. I don't know what you think a boss fight is, but very scary too. All right, next. Dun, dun, dun. I got some monsters too. Never finished the game. Oh man, it's a very fun game. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, did something go through? Oh, okay. I think you said something that did not show in this in the chat. I killed everything that was moving. YouTube did not like that one. Yeah, that game is supposed to be like you should forgive the weak and you should spare. And there's like a big old spare button and it's like, "Nah, bro, you're dying. Give me the coins." Dun, 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 dun. The music that came out of this game, though, beautiful. I don't know if it's like the same with the Deltarune. Dude, my voice is cracking. Dun, 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 doo, 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 doo. Wow. This is fucked. I hate this so much. You are not using the X on the other side. I figured like there's no reason for it. Like it's going from here to here and it's going from here to here. The only thing that's helping me do is like get the center point. But like I think I can get the center point with the plus sign anyways. What is fucked? What do you hate? The fact that I'm doing I don't like these ellipses. They're wonky. Very wonky. Very wonky donkey. But it's okay. It's part of the process. Sometimes I'm just like I hate this. Like, but it's like part of the process. I know. It's whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Or maybe I will watch the Proco video and then I will not be suffering anymore. Dun, 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 dun. But you said that they're hard, and you have watched the video 5 times, and you still say they're hard. So maybe the suffering won't stop. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Suffering is a part when it comes to ellipses. Yep, there's always going to be suffering with ellipses. Boxes, less so. Ellipses, isn't this just groovy? I was taking Peter Han class, and there was tanks in perspective. Imagine, oh, tanks, lots of cylinders, lots of cylinders. Interesting. A tank is like a very interesting choice. It's like a vehicle, so perspective is very apparent in vehicles. And then you have like the thing. Yep. but learning what that video has to say made my ellipses less wonky. Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. You reckon we should take a look at it now? What do you think? We still have time. Oh, oh no. This is the when you die, it plays the song. Can't you can't hear? I've been vibing on my own. What about now? How is it now? It's in your head. I hear the voices. Can you hear it now or not? I'm a pro watching the Proco video. Okay. Let me finish this one box then. Sorry. Cylinder. Dun, dun, dun. I sound like a pyramid scheme seller trying to get you to watch Proco videos. Maybe you do get a commission or something. It's fine though. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it if still can't hear it. Gosh darn it. I wouldn't mind it if you let me in on the pyramid scheme. It's so messed up. I can see in OBS that it's playing. Obviously, I can hear it, but I can see that you guys can hear it, but you guys can't. The brush have taper, and yeah, kind of like it. Yeah, I like this. You know what? You know what's crazy? This is the default brush, like Photoshop default brush. Like I saw, like I was looking at the brushes and I was trying to get like a G Pen kind of like look with the inking whatever. And then I tried I have all of these brushes installed. They all kind of like feel the same. And then I was like, okay, let me go back to the general ones. This just works. It just does gets the job done. Round brush basics. Yeah, it's well this one is particularly not round. This one is no, never mind. Actually, it's a hard round pressure, opacity and flow. And I have modified it a little bit in the brush settings. So this is why it's getting this like tapering. Race is going great. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice. These faces make the exercise more sufferable. By the way, chat, season 2 of my league racing is gonna start next weekend. Are you ready? Have you prepared? I am. Nice, nice. I'm just too fast. Competition ain't ready. Ooh, okay, okay. Confidence, I like it. I need this kind of confidence for real. Share your secrets. Please do. Hmm. Wait, so if I mute this, this is Discord. Oh, it's Spotify. Okay, so this Discord Spotify. Maybe I can go on this one. Okay. Yes. Okay, what about now? Can you hear it now? I'm just gonna watch and I have nothing to say. Okay, man. Grab some popcorn, maybe. There it is. Nice. Oh, Sans. Oh, whoops. Oh my god. It's interesting how I know the order of like the songs. I'm ready for the next song because I listen to this so much too much. Oh. Dun 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 dun. Oh, whoops. Oh. Dun 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 dun. No, whoops. This is annoying. Okay, that's fine. Kind of smoother. It's very good music. It's very good music. Yeah, I agree. Okay, you know what? To make myself feel better a little bit, I'm gonna erase this back circle. Not sure, not really sure I was in flow, but when music kind of creates something similar. Yeah, I think I think it has to do with it. I think it has to do with like some sort of frequencies. I read somewhere that like on a certain frequency you start going into like the flow state, quote unquote, and some music kind of like taps into that frequency. Not sure how true it is, but I think we all have experienced it. This is, I think this song was specifically used in a fight against two dogs. a dog couple, and you have to pet them in order to beat to finish the fight. So silly. Yeah, most likely. I kind of into this topic. Oh, okay. Perfect timing for the Timmy music to play after a speech on how music can help you reach a flow state. Wait, who's the Temi music? Temi? Not this line. Freak you. Get out of here. There we go. Alright, Control S. Let's take a look at... To be fair... Thomas Rain. Yeah. To be fair, this one is a bit weird. This one doesn't look too bad. And this one is a bit weird. Maybe because of the the line here. But yeah, let me take a... Okay, let's hop on YouTube. I'm gonna... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close Photoshop for this one. Oh, there it is. Whoa, it's huge. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay, so I assume it's this one. This is 14 minutes, 36 seconds. Is this it? Really? Okay. This is another cylinders tutorial. Not a lot of cylinders tutorial. Wow. You would think that cylinders are like, you know, one of the tougher shapes to draw, and you would have a lot of tutorials about it, but not really. Huh. Okay.
Hey, welcome back. So
Welcome back. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Do you guys want me to move the frog, or is he cool? Is he chilling there? Oh, my legs hurt. Okay. Let's see. He's chilling? Okay, great.
And now we're moving on to cylinders, which, funny enough, also involves boxes. Cylinders are really important to learn because a lot of things are cylindrical. Arms, legs, car tires, whoopee cushions, kind of. When it's flattened, it's basically an oval. Or is it an ellipse? Ovals versus ellipses. A lot of people seem to be confused about this.
It's interesting. He's still, like, this video is 2 years old, right? And he still has the same kind of like humor and vibe he has like with the 6 years ago tutorials. It's interesting.
Difference between the two, so let's get that out of the way. All ellipses are ovals, but not all ovals are ellipses. This oval
we're talking about
also an
ellipses.
ellipse, but this egg-like oval is not an ellipse. Ellipses must have 4 equal quadrants.
Right.
Ellipses have a mathematical definition. Blah, blah. Let's learn about ellipses. If you can't remember, you could just say oval, and you'll be right. If you want to be specific, you can call it an ellipse if it passes the fold test.
True,
If
Kamui.
you fold the ellipse along the longest part, and then again perpendicular to it, you can see that the 4 quadrants align perfectly. And by the way, the longest line is called the major axis, and the short line, perpendicular to it, is the minor axis. You'll probably hear me also using the terms long and short axis.
Damn, that's crazy. We've been drawing minors, guys. We artists are, we're drawing minors.
Same thing. When we're talking about ellipses in the context of perspective drawing, we're referring to circles tilted in 3D space. They're foreshortened circles. As I tilt it more and more, it gets foreshortened until it becomes a line. Just like a plane of a box would. When I look at this record from straight on, we see a perfect circle and the axes cross right in the middle. When I tilt the record, the circle becomes an ellipse. But watch what happens to the long axis. It doesn't cross the center of the record? Well, this makes sense because the closer half appears bigger than the farther half. But the unintuitive part of this is that the ellipse stays symmetrical two-dimensionally. So don't try to appears bigger of the record happens to the long axis record, the circle becomes an ellipse. But watch what happens to the long axis. It doesn't cross the center of the record? Well, this makes sense because the closer half appears bigger than the farther half. But the unintuitive part of this is that the ellipse stays symmetrical two-dimensionally.
I guess that does make sense. Because the center of the ellipse is well, of the circle is impacted by perspective.
So don't try to draw one of these weirdo trapezoid ovals with the long axis crossing the center. Because that oval, that's not an ellipse. But let's go back for a second. What about the minor axis? The minor axis is much more helpful in constructing ellipses and cylinders. It always crosses the center point, and it aims directly at the perpendicular vanishing point. I'll show you what that means in a minute. But right now, I gotta tell you about the drawing basics. Shape cylinder into shading. Again, that's at progo.com/drawing. Stacking ellipses. So an ellipse is flat, but a cylinder is not. A cylinder is basically a stack of ellipses. You'll sometimes see artists drawing these cross-contour curves around a cylindrical form, like an arm or a leg. We're thinking about what the ellipse looks like at that cross-section of the cylinder. When we're drawing a cylinder, we don't need to think of the ellipse at every cross-section, but we at least need the two ends. The angle of the minor axis tells us where the stacking ellipses should go.
Yep.
Let's head over to the gym for a second.
Hey, no recording, sir. No recording. Step out, step out.
Let's look at this photo of a barbell. Notice how the ellipse of the plate isn't vertical. It's angled slightly this way so that the minor axis is perfectly aligned with the bar. So the minor axis also happens to be the z-axis leading to the vanishing point. The same goes for wheels on a car. Unless the wheels are turning, then not. On the other end of the barbell, the minor and major axes will be the same. Then we just grab the ellipse from this side, move it over here, and wait. What?
What? Oh, perspective?
Looks like the ellipse gets wider as it moves away from us because we're seeing that circle plane more straight on. To figure out exactly how much wider, we're gonna need a box. Drawing a cylinder in a box. It might be easier to draw a box in perspective and then fit a cylinder in it. Or not. They're both hard. But it's at least gonna help us understand what's going on. And with practice, it'll become more intuitive. Remember, this course isn't about making it perfectly accurate. In Marshall Vandruff's upcoming perspective course, he'll get more precise. Let's start this by drawing a circle inside of a square. Now, when I tilt this in any direction, the square foreshortens and the edges converge, all that fun stuff. The circle stays tightly inside of the square. It's not going anywhere. And in order to stay tightly inside of that square, it needs to get wider and narrower and tilt in certain angles. Let me show you. So I'm going to start with a box, and I'll start with one plane. And now I'm trying to make sure I keep this box as much of a square plane as I can. So I don't want to make this too long or too short. I want to make it just where I think it indicates a perfect square. And I'm just doing this by intuition here. I feel like that feels like a square in perspective to me. And that will extend this way. And I'll worry about the other end later. Right now, let's figure out how to fit an ellipse inside of this plane. Now there's a few clues that I can identify that will tell me some things about this ellipse. So first of all, a circle inside of a square always touches the square right at the middle of every edge, right? So there's these 4 points where the circle and the square touch. how can we find those 4 points on here, right? I'm not gonna just kind of eyeball it. I mean, I could, I absolutely could if I'm, depending on how quickly I'm trying to draw this. But if I wanted to get it as close as I can, and if there's some extreme foreshortening going on, it's not much in this one, but if there was, I would draw an X, and that tells me the exact midpoint. And now I'll just draw from that both of these axes, and that tells me that the middle is here and here. Same thing this way, here and here. The closer halves are a little bit bigger than the farther ones. So they get smaller and smaller as they go away from us. So now we know 4 points where that ellipse has to touch. We also know that the minor axis of this ellipse has to be at the same line as this, same angle. And I know that it's going to cross the ellipse has to touch. We also know that the minor axis of this ellipse has to be at the same line as this, same angle. And I know that it's going to cross this center point. So from here, it's going to go out at the same angle as this. So there's the minor axis. And I know that the major axis is going to be perpendicular to that. Close enough.
Whoa.
We'll have to force it in there. So now I know that it has to be the shortest.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Wait, bro is spitting.
Point. So from here, it's going to go out at the same angle as this. So there's the minor axis. And I know that the major axis is going to be perpendicular to that. Close enough. We'll have to force it in there. So now I know that it has to be the shortest around here and the longest somewhere along here. So now I know kind of roughly about 8 points of where I have to cross.
Yeah, very nice.
So I'm going to lightly, very lightly kind of sketch in what I think the ellipse will be. There you go. So see how the major axis, or the part where it is longest, is at this angle. The minor axis is perpendicular to it and also happens to point at that vanishing point that these length lines are going to. And we happen to touch right on those 4 points. And you'll find that there is only one ellipse that can satisfy all of that criteria that we just learned about. There it is. That's that one ellipse. If I try to angle it in any other direction, it won't touch these 4 points. It just won't do it. This ellipse also is an ellipse and not an oval. It has 4 equal quadrants, right? It's symmetrical both ways. It doesn't necessarily cross. Actually, that's one thing that I just realized I was trying to force it to do, is I put that long axis right on the middle point. It should be a little bit more this way because the middle point of the square is going to be farther away from it, away from us. And so right here is actually the middle, the long axis.
Yeah.
Which actually, now that I look at it, that is actually closer to how I drew the ellipse. I was forced to draw it in that correct spot to make it fit, even though I had marked off that long axis. I had no choice, really. If I drew it this way, I would have not drawn an ellipse. I would have drawn an oval. So there's the center point, the very middle of that square, but the long axis does not cross that. So
Nice.
Now, in order to find the ellipse on the other end, let's first figure out what the square looks like on the other side. So let's just project these out. I'm going to project these out pretty far, just so that there's a pretty big distance between these two ellipses, and that will make them look more different. Problem is that it's harder to keep these lines straight the farther I go. There's more room for error. Okay, so now I have to kind of
Need to go. Hopefully, we'll be able to do
figure
that
out
tomorrow. It's a good stream.
what-
Good
how
night.
much
Good night,
convergence
Kamoy.
there will be in this. I'm just gonna feel it out. I'm
Derpy.
gonna ghost in the other edge. Okay, so there's the square on the other side. Notice how this square already pretty obviously more of a square. This one is much more of a squished diamond. But the farther we go back this way, the more we're looking directly at that square. And so it's going to be turning towards us and becoming more of a perfect square.
Rip, I'm
And this
late
just
early
kinda
streaming
lined
day.
up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
I
projected everything,
just a second.
converge things, and then boom, that's just how it works. And now I'm just gonna find an ellipse on this square in the same way. This minor axis, if I keep it going, goes right to the middle of this, right? So the two midpoints are at the same angle across from each other as these other ones, right? Because this is pointing at the vanishing point. Find the 4 middle points of the 4 edges. So now I know that the ellipse has to touch here. I know the angle of the minor axis. I know the angle of the major axis, which in this case, that major axis is gonna actually be very close to that middle. Probably like right here, just like super close, because it's becoming
Wait, how do you know that?
square. The more of a square we draw, the closer that becomes middle, until it's a perfect square and it's right in the middle. Everything lines up.
Wait, hold on. Think I'm missing something.
Okay, so now I know everything I need. And I'm gonna sketch in kind of a loose version of this ellipse. And this ellipse is kind of needs to be wide, it looks like, in order to fit. So now notice a few things. One, this ellipse is thicker. It's a little bit wider than this one. And it's also shorter. So overall, it's kind of smaller because it's farther in the distance. It's getting smaller.
Yeah, I need to go back to it actually. I need to go back to the
Long,
first
straight
one.
lines are gonna be the death of me. Okay, so there is a cylinder stuffed into a box as perfectly as I can do it. So do we have to draw a box every time we want to draw a cylinder? No, no. But I had to show you that so you understand how it works. And when you're drawing something like the wheels on a car, you know how to construct it. When you're sketching something and you don't have to be perfectly precise, just remember 3 things. The angle of the ellipse is perpendicular to the length of the cylinder. The farther end will have a wider ellipse. Practice and get a feel for how much. And the sides will converge slightly as they move away. Thank you for watching, and remember
You're
to check
welcome.
out the basics course. Many of the students have every
The further the square face is, the more its normal angles. Its normal's angle point directly at the camera. Yeah, but I think what I want to go back to is the major. Is that what it's called? The major axes. I think that is like how is it not like, how do you know where it's placed? Like I understand that it doesn't always go across the center point, but like how do you gauge where you put it, you know?
cross section. But we
You're welcome
need
for
the
watching,
2
yeah.
ends. The angle of the minor axis. Remember, this course is a square plane as I can. So I don't make this too long or too short. I want to make it just where I think it indicates a perfect square. And I'm just doing this by intuition here. I feel like that feels like a square in perspective to me. And that will extend this way. And I'll worry about the other end later. Right now, plane. Some touches the square right at the middle of every edge, right? So there's these 4 points where the circle and the square touch. How can we find those 4 points on here, right? I'm not gonna just kind of eyeball it. I mean, I absolutely could if depending on how quickly I'm trying to draw this. But if I wanted to get it as close as I can, and if there's some extreme foreshortening going on, it's not much in this one, but if there was, I would draw an X, and that tells me the exact midpoint. And now I'll just draw from that both of these axes, and that tells me that the middle is here and here. Same thing this way, here and here. The closer halves are a little bit bigger than the farther ones, so they get smaller and smaller as they go away from us. So now we know 4 points where that ellipse has to touch. We also know that the minor axis of this ellipse has to be at the same line as this, same angle. And I know that it's going to cross this center point.
Not particularly,
from
but yeah.
Here, it's going to go out at the same angle as this. So there's the minor axis. And I know that the major axis is going to be perpendicular to that. Close enough. We'll have to
Oh,
fix
right,
it
right,
there.
right, right. It's perpendicular. It needs to be perpendicular. No, actually, yeah. Okay, that's established. Like it's perpendicular. But
So now I know that it has to be the shortest.
no, actually, I don't need to start Photoshop. I can do it with a pen and paper. This one's right here. Hold on a second. Let me hide this. The background is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Just a second. I'll be right back. We're back. Whoa, okay. What's going on? What's going on there? Now that chat's gone. It is the background is C's work, by the way. Like the overlay. Look who's here. Look who's here. Hello, hello. MB, how are ya? I'm trying to figure out this like minor axes, major axes thing. She did a great job with the background. Yeah, I like it too. And there definitely needs to be some modification, but I like it. I'm doing good. How are you? I am blessed. I cannot complain. Thank you so much for asking. It's fun to see you finally here, I guess. My hair is cropped, by the way. It's like there's like a okay. Let's get back here.
Around here, and the longest somewhere along here. So now I know kind of roughly about 8 points of where I have to cross. So I'm gonna lightly, very lightly kind of sketch in.
I'm gonna try to focus on this for a second.
The ellipse will be. There you go. So see how the major axis, or the part where it is longest, is at this angle. The minor axis is perpendicular to it, and also happens to point at that vanishing point that these length lines are going to. And we happen to touch right on those 4 points. And you'll find that there is only one ellipse that can satisfy all of that criteria that we just learned about. There it is. That's that one ellipse. If I try to angle it in any other direction, it won't touch these 4 points. It just won't do it. This ellipse also is an ellipse and not an oval. It has 4 equal quadrants, right? It's symmetrical both ways. It doesn't necessarily cross. Actually, that's one thing that I just realized I was trying to force it to do, is I put that long axis right on that middle point. It should be a little bit more this way, because the middle point of the square is going to be farther away from us. And so right here is actually the middle, the long axis.
So,
which actually, now that I look at it, that is actually closer to how I drew the ellipse. I was forced to draw it in that correct spot to make it fit, even though I had marked off that long axis. I had no choice, really. If I drew it this way, I would have not drawn an ellipse. I would have drawn an oval. So there's the center point, the very middle of that square, but the long axis does not cross that. So now, in order to find the ellipse on the
right, so okay, so the major axis is always going to be closer to us, per se, right? And since this is the point in the box, or in the rectangle, not the rectangle, in the square, where this is like the area that's like closer to us, then the major axis is going to be closer to us. By how much, I'm not sure. I guess by how much, I guess how much it is close to us is going to depend on whether it makes both of these halves equal. You know what I mean? I guess he kind of like made some mistake here, because he did it like across, like exactly on the point here, but then he corrected it. But yeah, okay, I think I understand. All right, I'm gonna try. I don't know what you guys are just like talking about in the chat. Let me start Photoshop again. I feel like sometimes I do wake up early from motivation, and not just because I didn't want to fall back asleep, but it can be rare, I guess. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did something must have changed, because last time we talked about, you know, waking up and stuff, I feel like that wasn't your state. Maybe sometimes with like coding. Ooh, okay. The major axis thing is a thing you just get with intuition. No, I think there's like some restraints to it, right? Because I'll tell you, at least I'm gonna try. Let me grab this and turn this on. There you go. So if I have, right, if I have a box, right, and I'm gonna try to make this fast, but hopefully like the fact that I'm doing it fast doesn't mess up the explanation. All right, and I'm gonna try to, maybe not too isometric. Yeah, kind of like that. All right, and then we have this line in here. And this line in here, okay? And we have our center points. And then we kind of like have our lines here, okay? And actually, let me turn on the pressure sensitivity for the opacity so I can make straighter lines. So okay, so we've got these points, right? Which is great. This is more of an indication. And then I guess I'm gonna have to draw these as well. Before I do that, maybe I should do this. Control X, Control Z, Control V. There you go. And then this is the direction that the box is going to follow, right? That's enough. And then it's going to follow this line. All right. So we have this right here. It goes kind of like symmetrical. Not symmetrical, in parallel to this one. Okay, that's great. This is the major, the minor axis. This is where the minor axis is, and then we have it perpendicular. But now it's like, what do you do first? Do you draw the major axes first, and then decide that like both halves need to be the same? Or what, right? So I think it's like you said. I think it's an intuition thing, really, right? Because this point is closer to us, so it's going to be on this side. It's not going to be on this side, right? That's one thing. And then another thing is that it's going to be perpendicular, so it's going to be like this, right? But you never really know if the two halves are going to be the same unless you draw this line, really. But if you know my history with my ex, what are you guys, what's going on in the chat? I feel like I'm just like talking about the major axis and the line and the minor axis and the boxes and the cubes and the squares, and you guys are talking about, I want to know someone that is good is out there for me to find. Cheers to that. Chad has an army of romantics. Really? That's good to know. I'd like to think that I'm a romantic myself, so it's nice to have an army of of people who share the same idea. Right, so, and another thing is that, is it really perpendicular? Is it really like the same here? Because, okay, like we're drawing this, right? And I feel like earlier I was trying to be clean with my lines and stuff. I shouldn't be doing that. I should just like make it sketchy first and then... See, it's... You see, this half is not the same as this half. Right? Which is a bit weird. Like, why is that? Okay, let me get the Undertale music on. One thing you gotta make sure is that when you hide the square, the ellipse is 100% symmetrical from the major axes. Really? Oh, I guess you are right. Maybe my drawing is a bit, you know, very fast and wonky. That's why it's not going to, that's not going to be the case. But I think you're right. I think you're right. Okay, I'm going to try to do this next time perfect, which is I'm going to draw it using the square tool or the rectangle tool, whatever it's called. Right? So if I just like delete and remove everything, See, that's, I mean, I don't know. That feels uneven. Pretty musics? Yeah, it's Undertale. Okay. How about this? How about this? How about we do something like this? Hold on. Alright. And I'm gonna fill it. Alright. And then sure, let's give it gray. Alright. Then you're gonna leave it. Then you're gonna come on. Alright. Actually, is there like a perspective tool? There is! Okay, perspective. So the perspective for this one is kind of like, whoops. This. Right. Right. Okay. So this is it. This is our box with perspective. And then, right? And then we're gonna grab a circle. Not an ellipse, a circle. And then we're gonna apply the same thing. Whoops. Whoa. Feather. Why do I have a feather? Get out of here. 0. What? Stop with the feather. Yeah, damn. Right, let's make it darker. Okay. Now, oh my god, I made it on the same layer. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Right, darker. Let me move the drink away because I feel like I'm gonna spill it. And then we grab it. And then we apply, actually maybe let me make it the same size first. Perspective. It's going to be the same perspective. Right, from here and from here. Whoops. Right. Actually, maybe the perspective is not working here. You know what I should have done? I should have made sure that the square and the circle are the same size first. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Ah! Just gonna forcefully make it fit. Okay. That's, I think that's good enough. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have this, right? What what we do is we try to think, okay, maybe a line. How do we do a line? Right, a line from here. Right, stroke. Let's make it black. Can we see it? Can we not? Okay, we can. Right, another line that is almost the same direction, and then another line. Oh my god, dude, that scared me. Right, this is dark. Thank you. And then another line, okay? Same thing. Okay, great. Now, we're gonna take the red, and we're gonna have a line that goes from here to here, and then that is going to be red, okay? And then a line that goes from here to here. It is also going to be red, okay? And so we have our center points. Great. Next, we make a line that goes through that center point. All right. And then another line that goes through that center point. Right. Okay, these ended up being white, but that's okay. That worked in our favor. Now, we're gonna have a line that's going to be blue, and it's gonna start from here and be parallel to that line, right? Which this makes it the minor axis, okay? So this is the minor axis, and this needs to be. I'm gonna make it blue. Right? Okay. Now, the major axis is going to be perpendicular to this. All right? Which, oh my god, I can see it. I can see it being, the two halves being the same. God damn it. Whoops. All right. So chases while breakdancing. The evil must be destroyed. I'm reading that out of context. Right, so let me hide these. Goodbye. Oh, not that one. Goodbye. 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 No. No. Yes. Okay. So yeah, they are the same. Wild. Okay. I think I'm gonna end it here because it's already been an hour and 41 minutes. I'm gonna end it here. But we're gonna keep going. We're not stopping with the cylinders. We're going to be doing more cylinders for sure. Derpy, Chad VC maybe. I might VC like after the stream, a little bit, because it's still like 10 right now. I mean, granted, I need to sleep, but we can do some VCing. Fa. All right, we can end it here. We didn't do some actual, like, illustrating or heads or portraits or, bodies or anything. But, like, I think this technical stuff we need to revisit from time to time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I don't know what's going on in the chat with with MB and Marcus, but every time you guys just like collide or meet in the chat, I think it's always fun. Another thing you gotta get right is the second vanishing point of the box. The second of the box you're drawing the ellipse on. Can't really explain right now, but thought I should say that. Wait, let me read that again. The second vanishing point of the box you're drawing. The second vanishing point? Oh, wait. No? Okay, maybe we'll talk about it next time. Alright. Thank you, Chad. Alright, take care, guys. Bye-bye. Sneak attack. Damn.